So this young lady over here, her name is Liz Riles. I'm Rob Dempsey. It's His Morning Crew on His Radio. She and her husband Joey celebrating, 5 years? 21 years of marriage. Did you catch that? 21 years. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. But I started thinking about, when it's your anniversary, you think about, how you met and how you fell in love and all that. And our first date was 14 hours.
14 hours?
It was 14 hours. So I guess I include like him driving to pick me up because he lived in a different town than I did. So he came to pick me up. I think we went to lunch first. We went to see a movie. We went to the batting cages. He showed me that he could switch hit. Was a big thing for me. It impressed me a lot.
So, okay, she's a baseball girl.
Yes.
She loves baseball.
Yes.
And you're going to have to explain what a switch hit actually is.
So he can bat right or left, which is something very few players, I think, can actually do successfully. But he could do that. And
that's her man.
Yeah, he's like, that's what got you. I was like, well, kind of. It impressed me quite a bit. And then we went to dinner. And that tells you like how long the movie was and how long we were at the batting cage because we had lunch and dinner. Then we went back to the house and just watched movies for a while and talked. And that was it. But I mean, it was like from that moment on, we were not separated. I mean, we just weren't. Like the next day we saw each other, the next day, the next day, the next day. It was crazy.
Wow, the switch hit did really work.
Yeah, well, we were married within 4 months.
Are you
4.5
kidding?
months? Yeah.
That quick?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes you just know, right?
Yeah.
So I started thinking about first dates. What was your first date like?
Oh, I'll be quick.
Yeah.
I'll be really quick. I don't want to go, I got a bigger fish than Liz.
No. But you can one-up me.
I got a 10-pound bass. You got a 2-pounder. No, it was simple. It was a concert at the radio station that I was at the time. Mm-hmm. And I brought her to that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And so she was super impressed by...
Yeah, there's more to it. We went off to the beach after that, and then I drove her back home and that kind of thing.
That's cool. Well, a friend of mine, Crystal, they went to a baseball game. That was their first date, and they were married 7 months later.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I heard from Dawn, and Dawn said they went to the Olive Garden first. They went to see Pirates of the Caribbean after that. They went back to his house, decorated his Christmas tree.
Whoa.
And then she called her mom and said, yeah, he's just kind of like a friend. Like, I don't see this going anywhere. They've been married for 8 years and they have 2 kids now. So she didn't know right away.
She decorated a lot more Christmas trees in the past 8 years. Well, hey, what's your story?
Yeah.
We'd love to hear yours. We're talking specifically the first date you ever have with the one that you love. 800-447-7234. You can call or text right now.
His Morning Crew.
You fell in love, you got married, but what was the first date like? We're kind of thinking about this because Liz is reminiscing because their anniversary is this weekend.
Yeah.
It's Rob and Liz, His Morning Crew at His Radio, 800-447-7234.
And Jessica said she and her husband met and really had, I guess, their first date kind of on the job. They were both actors in a production, and that's how they met.
Really?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Jessica.
I know. And then Katie said, my husband and my first date, kind of funny. For several months, he was secretly pursuing her, but she didn't even realize it.
Oh.
He would leave flowers at the door, and I just thought he was being nice. And then he asked her out to a basketball game to go see the University of Georgia play, because it's where they had met, right? So she shows up, but she took a friend because she thought it was just a group of people going together. She said it ended up being super awkward because there was nowhere for her friend to sit.
Oh.
And they laugh about it now. She said they got through it, and they got through it.
Oh, that's great. Okay, a lot of calls are coming in. Here's Russell. Okay, Russell, what's your story about the first date?
I met my wife in December. I didn't ask her out till on her birthday, January the 9th. And our first date was we went and seen the Titanic and went to eat at the steakhouse. 30 days later, we got married.
That was quick.
We've been married 23 years.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Yep.
So Titanic was a long movie. How did you know during that date she was the one?
Well, first I embarrassed her. I got up and started singing to her.
In the movie?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I was singing You Are So Beautiful in the movie theater while they were going through the promotions they first go through. And that song came on. I stood up and sang to her. And then 2 weeks later, we were walking around at Falls Park, pouring rain, and I proposed down at Falls Park, and she was just like, yes, we just went and got married on February the 27th after going out on January the 9th.
That's amazing. Sitting up at the theater, too, going, you are so beautiful.
And I love that she was okay with that, because some people might be a little bit like,
oh, she could have been.
yeah, but,
right?
oh, I
Okay.
doubt it. No, she loved
Russell.
it.
Mr. Romantic,
I
you,
know it,
Russell.
boy.
What's your story? First date. 800-447-7234.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
Oh my, the stories are pouring in this morning. Rob and Liz, his radio. So Liz is celebrating, you guys are 21 years,
21
right?
years on
21
Saturday.
years, Saturday, big anniversary.
Yep.
They're going on a trip. And then she
Yeah.
started thinking back, oh, the first date. He switch batted.
Yeah, he was a switch hitter.
Yeah, switch hitter. Can you tell I'm really into baseball? A switch hitter, and that had her.
You
So
know-
21 years later, couple
That was
of kids.
so weird. I'm not even playing right now. My heart just skipped a beat.
Oh.
I'm not even playing that
Look
just
at that.
happened.
Look at that. So we started thinking about your first date with the one that you love at 800-447-7234.
Angela said that they met online, but they ended up meeting in Asheville. And he took her to an amazing restaurant up on the Blue Ridge Parkway. They went to look at the stars. And then after the date, or after the stars thing, they went back to the house and watched movies. And he played his guitar for her.
Serenaded her.
Yeah, said we've been married a year yesterday. They just celebrated their anniversary.
A true gentleman, she says.
Yeah. And then Justin said, my bride and I met in college class about 5.5 years ago. First date included her first ever trip to the Beacon in Spartanburg.
That's like a I don't want to call it a grease pit.
No,
It's like if you've ever been to the Varsity
In
in Atlanta and you don't know what the Beacon is,
Yes.
pretty much the same.
Yes. Then they went to watch the city lights of Columbus, North Carolina from White Oak Mountain. They were in the clouds about to leave, and then they saw all the city lights peeking through the clouds, I guess.
Wow.
They are celebrating 1 year of marriage this week.
Congratulations,
Another
Justin.
anniversary.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Julie with us at 800-447-7234. First date. What happened?
My husband he's a really out there person. He never meets a stranger, so nothing embarrasses him. So he walked into my house he looked really nice at first glance. He had on a white button down and a yellow sweater over, but he had on these plaid pants that just, my mother said the first look, and it was no. Well, we went to the town that's 65 miles away, and something happened to the car, and we couldn't get back home. So he almost had to put me in a taxi, but we went dancing, and we had a really, really good time, and we've been together ever since. It was love at first sight for me after.
It was the plaid pants.
It was the plaid pants.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
Happy anniversary to Liz and her husband. 48,000 years they've
Do
been
what
married.
now? 21.
It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. 21.
Yeah.
What a great long
I know.
what am I trying to say? Marriage that you've had so far.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And they said it wouldn't last. We met online, and 14-hour first date.
Wow.
Because I've been thinking about that.
Good for you.
14-hour first.
14 hours. That's long.
I mean, we saw a movie. We had a couple of meals. We watched a couple of movies. We went to the batting cages, talked like crazy like you do on your first date.
So we started thinking this morning on his radio at 800-447-7234, not necessarily how you met, but what was your first date?
Yeah, Irene said they live near an Air Force base, and she was going to an away party for one of the GIs, supposed to meet one guy there, I guess, as the first date. But I don't know if he didn't show up or she just saw somebody she liked better. I don't know how that transpired. But anyway, she met her husband, and he said, well, I can be your date. So the day they met is when they had their first date. And they're celebrating many, many years of marriage coming up in December.
This is probably the first time she'd ever say, I'm glad I got stood up.
Exactly.
Congratulations,
Got stood up for
Irene.
a reason. Okay, so their first date from Tiffany was a hike around a lake. And then after the hike, he asked her if she would like to go have sushi with him. but she had been a strict vegetarian for years.
And?
But she said yes because she really wanted to spend time with him. Then I had to add this because after they'd been dating, and I guess he didn't realize the whole vegetarian thing, he brought some elk steak over to cook it up for her.
And he had no idea.
Right. So I don't know if she ended up eating it or not, but they've been married for a good long time. So.
Tiff, are you still a vegetarian now?
Yeah.
What happened?
I know. Or are you eating sushi and elk now?
Yeah. Bobby's along with us at 800-447-7234. What's your story, Bobby? First date.
I was in the Navy at the time. I used to go out to a fellowship, Christian fellowship at a lady's house out in the country. She'd have about 150 people in her living room every Saturday night. My best friend on the ship, he was engaged to a girl in the church, which, we had to drive about 2 hours to get there. And he brought my wife, or brought Diane there as a blind date for me.
Really? So where'd you all go?
A place called Jimmy's, which is a fish place. They served some of the best shrimp in the New Haven, Connecticut area. And but that was the first time I kissed her.
I hope she likes fish.
Oh, she loves fish. Shrimp. Good. It's one of her favorite, shrimp and scallops.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Congratulations to Liz and her husband, Joey. 21 years of marriage.
This weekend.
They're going to go out of town.
Yeah.
Leaving the boys at home alone.
Not quite. They are going to have some supervision.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because they're teenage kids. I mean, we're talking guy out of high school.
Yeah.
And a senior in high school.
Yeah.
They need supervision.
And they will have it.
So we started thinking on his radio this morning. It's Rob and Liz with his morning crew about your very first date, because she was talking about her first date earlier. We're wondering about yours.
Yeah, Lori said our first date consisted of target practice, fishing, going to eat at Outback. They went to a movie, and then they went back and started riding four-wheelers.
Are we talking arrows or guns for the target practice? I don't know why I'm stuck there.
I would think it was guns.
That sounds like a fun adventure.
Doesn't
that
it?
They had, yeah.
Yeah, so they both were into all of that kind of thing. Vicky said, my husband picked me up for our first date with his mom.
Mom?
He had to take her to work, so she sat in the back seat. Then we were off to the high school football game. They parked at the back of the school, walked down. Then she slipped down a 10-foot hill, and her pants got all kinds of muddy.
Oh, sorry, Vicky.
And he did laugh, but evidently she has a really good sense of humor, and it was okay. And they've been laughing for the last 30-something years.
Well, and she was able to overlook Mom being in the back seat.
I know, but that was sweet. He was hanging out with his mom doing something nice.
Wendy is along with us at 800-447-7234. What's your first date story, Wendy?
I met him in high school when I was in the 10th grade, and we had a blind date, and on that date, he asked me to marry him.
Whoa. Oh, okay. How did that even happen?
Well, there was another couple that was, of course, in the front seat. We were in the back seat, and this happened on the way to where we were going, and
hold on. How long did you know him at this point? Blind date, you didn't even get to the restaurant?
I had seen him at school, and we kind of exchanged glances on the stairs going back and forth to classes. He was a football player.
You're in the car, blind date, going to the restaurant, and what happens here?
He just asked me to marry him.
A ring?
No ring. No, there was not a ring for another year and a half probably. But we did marry on Thanksgiving Day, and we were married for 49 years until he died on Christmas Eve of 2015. He was the love of my life, and I love him to this day. I miss him so bad.
Well, I love your story. Thank you so much for sharing.
He was very special. He treated me like a queen.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
Can we just be kind to one another, please? It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. Oh, we're okay. Liz and I are cool.
Yeah. We do need extra kindness always.
Yeah, every person you'd think needs a little extra kindness.
Who would have thunk, though, they would come in the form of a rock? Yeah, it's the truth. There's a thing, and it's been a movement for a little while, or maybe a trend rather than a movement, but it's kindness rocks. And maybe you found these because you guys go hiking and biking and that kind of thing quite a bit.
My family does this. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, it is a trend, and there's a mom and a daughter that have been doing that. They're part of the Kindness Rock Project. So here's what happens. You can join the project, or you can just buy one of these kits, like on Amazon, and they're anywhere from, I don't know, $10 to $20, and it comes with a certain amount of rocks. They're very smooth. It comes with all the art supplies, so there might be markers or little paints, glitter. That would be my kit of choice.
She's a bling girl. That's true.
That's right. And
she blings food.
I do. I love it.
She puts glitter on bakery.
So I would definitely do it on the rocks too. But you paint them, and maybe sometimes you put little sayings, or you can put scripture or quotes or whatever, and then you hide them around your town. Then when people find them, they can keep them, or they can re-hide them so somebody else finds the quote.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's just passing off, positivity and love and kindness.
My wife and kids have painted rocks and put sayings on them, but we've never hid them. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, you can keep them around your house and, let the light shine right there in your own home.
I think it's pretty cool. That's a neat thing to do. I mean, it's a rock.
I know. I've never found one.
Neither have I.
No, I've found people, in the wintertime will put scarves and mittens out and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I found those. I've never found a rock yet. But I might have to order one of these kits because that's definitely right up my alley. That would
now
be a lot of fun.
Liz is going to start throwing rocks all over the place.
I'm not throwing rocks anywhere, buddy.
Don't throw rocks at people.
No, I'm not.
Got to be kind.
I am.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I think our mind is blown right at the moment. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. And I'll tell you why. We were just talking to Linda Morrison. She's our prayer team coordinator. Every Wednesday at 6:30, she shares some news that's coming out of the prayer line, some of the good stuff that's happening, some needs that we could pray for. And she was telling us that those who are calling to have a relationship with Christ, who's never had a relationship with him before, have called. Those calls have doubled and tripled in September alone of people saying, I want Jesus in my life. We asked her, what's the number? She said, just about 500.
In 1 month.
In September.
Yeah.
In September. Amazing.
And I don't know, I'm getting super emotional about it. Like, that people are reaching out because of everything that's happening. If you look at everything since, the end of February, early March that we've been walking through, people know that we can't deal with this on our own and we need to lean on God. And they're reaching out to that prayer line to say, what can I do? Who is this Jesus? Tell me more. And it's because his radio is on the air with that message and they're reaching out through the prayer line.
Yeah. I mean, we're really being pretty blatant. Jesus is there for your sins. He died for you on that cross. Yeah. And it's there for you. As a matter of fact, if you want to know about it, text the word Jesus to our number, 800-447-7234. We'll walk you through the process and we'll help you through it. But here's the thing. Share-a-thon is coming up, and his radio is a listener-supported radio station. And I just can't help but think that one person who gave a gift helped bring 500 people to Christ in September. Wow. I mean, just think about that. And that person, those 500 people that are now Jesus believers and Jesus followers, can you imagine the impact in life that they're going to make for people?
How many are they going to lead to Christ, who are going to be part of the kingdom? I mean, it's just amazing to me in 1 month.
See, listen, your gift really does make a difference. His radio is listener supported. We've been through social distancing, and it's tough financially, of what people are walking through. So I'm asking you to pray about your gift to his radio, because October 19th is less than 2 weeks away now. It's a week and a half away. It's on a Monday, so it's a week away from next Monday. So pray about your gift. And you know what? Why don't you just give it today? You don't have to wait. You can go online to hisradio.com, text the word GIVE to that number too, 800-447-7234. If you're listening on the app right now, you just tap give and give your gift right now, and it will make a difference in lives. I promise you that. Thank you so much for praying about your gift to Share-a-thon.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Harris, so lonely.
Aww.
Harris was so lonely that he just wanted somebody to spend time with.
Of course.
Wanted a love in his life. I don't know if he put his little otter hands together and prayed so hard. Yeah, Otter.
Oh.
Harris is an otter. Harris is 10 years old. And Harris was just so lonely. And they could see that he was lonely. It was really sad.
How do you tell if an otter's lonely?
Well, the Cornish Seal Sanctuary certainly knows. And they see the way that he kind of mopes around. He's like an otter Eeyore. And so here's what they did. They developed an otter dating site for little Harris.
Oh, my goodness. I have got to go and look at this thing.
Yeah, fishing for love. Looking for that one to love and to cuddle and to spend time with. Harris just needed this in his life.
So did he put a profile together?
There was a profile and everything. I mean, it just said, looking to find my significant other. I'm very attentive. I love to cuddle. I'm a very good listener. I love you like no otter.
Oh, and he's 10. And he hasn't. Are otters the ones that they float on their backs and they hold hands?
Yes.
When they float.
He had nobody to float on his back and hold hands with.
Are you trying to make me cry? Because literally like that is so sad. And he's 10, which is a long time in otter life.
Well, the good news is that Tamra is now in Harris's life.
Who?
Tamra.
Oh, Tamra and Harris.
Yeah, and now they're floating on their backs and holding hands, and they've been through holy matrimony. So
they had a wedding ceremony and everything. Oh my goodness!
The Cornish Seal Sanctuary.
All right, I need to send a wedding gift.
Has been found. Thankfully, there was a profile made on Fishing for Love, a developed otter online site for dating just for Harris.
Do they have a wedding registry?
I have no idea.
Because I need to get him a mixer.
Very nice. I'll get the toaster.
His Morning Crew.
Last biggest real spider web that you saw.
Oh.
How gigantic was the thing? How big was it?
There was a spider web in Hayden's car.
In his car?
It evidently made it overnight, and he went to back up and saw it in his rearview mirror and just about lost it.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's been a while for me, I guess.
A couple of months ago, every time I came in to the entrance at the break room, there was a spider web outside. I'd run into it every morning.
You did like face first or something, right?
It was always there, and you just don't see it. But out in Missouri, the Department of Missouri Conservation, they just posted a picture of a spider web. The thing is humongous.
What? Real
life spider web. Ooh. Humongous. It's so big that if you tried to walk through it, you couldn't bust it. You'd get stuck in it. That's how big this thing. It's in Springfield, Missouri. They don't really say how big the spider is, but it's an orb weaver. It is a large spider, but they don't say it's like 10 feet long or something like that around.
A person would get stuck in it?
You could get stuck in this thing if you tried to walk through it.
That is like my worst nightmare.
But here's the thing. You can't miss it because the way that this thing is woven, you can't miss the spider web because it's right there.
Listen, there was a kid going across the parking lot in a grocery store yesterday that was on his phone looking down, never once looked up, never saw another car. He would walk straight into it, and we've all done that. Like looking at our phones and not paying attention, and then you end up in this spider web. Oh no.
Well, I should clarify, this web is out in, the forest.
Oh, still, I'll be walking through the forest looking at my phone.
Yeah, because you've got to text and
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
That encouraging way to start your day. Rob and Liz on his radio. Merry Christmas.
Christmas time is coming. Next week.
Wasn't it leaving last month? No, August some Christmas stuff was in stores.
Yeah, and there were like the Christmas movies and things like that.
Everything was happening. And we're still now it's normal that Christmas stuff is out in October.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But not normally do we get some of the really good Christmas deals in stores and online, but it's happening.
Okay.
Walmart, Walmart and Amazon are kind of neck and neck, trying to outdo each other kind of thing. Well, Amazon's Prime Deal days or whatever is coming up the 13th and the 14th, and Walmart's like, oh, no. October 11th is when we're going to start having our Christmas deals, and they have like one of those robot vacuums. Was pretty cool, and I think they've in the past been $400 or something, $99.
Wow.
Yeah, you can get like a big screen TV for $250 or something like that. So they have quite a few deals out there. Hunter boots.
What's that?
Hunter boots. Every woman went, oh, Hunter boots are really nice. They're like wellies. They're like rain boots.
Are those things that go up to your knees?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they have all different colors and styles, whatever. Anyway, Walmart's going to have them for, I want to say it's around $55.
I know where Liz is going to be hanging out.
Right? Because everybody wants some Hunter boots. But anyway.
Everybody does? I don't.
Ask Amy. Ask Amanda, your daughter.
Okay.
I bet they would.
I think Amanda would want some of
Yeah,
those
I
things.
bet so for sure. So not only are Walmart and Amazon doing it, but Target is also going to have these early deals as well, about the same time that Amazon's Prime deals.
So they're all
are.
trying to compete against each other.
Well,
get the jump on the Christmas deals.
they are competing, but they also don't want the rush that comes out on Black Friday because of the protocols that are in place to keep everybody
I just
safe.
wish they put my Garmin tail light radar on sale.
What in the world is that?
Well, I had the same question about Hunter boots.
Oh, okay.